Welcome back to the second part of my series, making log cabins for wargaming terrain out of stuff you might otherwise just throw away. First things first, I took an off-cut bit of plywood. Terrain builders are like magpies, we never throw anything away. I arranged the houses on this piece of wood and drew around them with a marker pen, then drew a vaguely organic shape for the outline. I didn't want this base to have any straight edges, because nature doesn't really have them either. I glued on some rocks made from styrofoam to give the piece a bit of verisimilitudinous vertical variation. Next, I smeared the whole thing with some wall filler, trying to avoid the footprints of the two cabins. This makes a nice forest floor mud. Once everything was nice and covered, but still fresh, I scattered on some clean cat litter and smushed it into the filler to give a rougher texture. Next, I took some appropriate looking bits from my Warhammer bits box and cut some blocks to go around the campfire. Adding stone texture with my stonerizing machine, a pot of chewing gum with some stones in it. I made a circle with the PVA and stuck the campfire blocks around them, perfect for a rough and ready woodland campfire. Once the bits were assembled and stuck on, I summoned the awesome power of the hot glue gun. My glue stick was too short for the trigger to work, and instead of adding a new stick like a normal person, I pushed it through with my finger. Don't do this. It's not a very good idea. I glued some real stones to the landscape with the hot glue. After that, I went out to the park and, to the probable bemusement of fellow park goers, grabbed some nice sticks. These will be our general forest litter and fallen tree trunks. Before I used them, I dried them out completely by baking them in the oven for 15 minutes at a temperature of 100 degrees. That way, all the bacteria and such were killed, and the wood should be immune from rotting later on. These twigs were stuck down with some hot glue in a naturalistic way. I decided that I didn't really like the turf roofs, so I had a go at making thatch roof instead. The inspiration for this method came from my colleague Lupe over at Warhammer. I'll link his tutorial in the description below. I got a fake fur pillowcase and cut it into rough strips, making sure to cut parallel to the grain. Once the strips were cut out, I stuck them onto the roofs with some thick PVA glue. With both roofs as luxuriously thatched as the chest of a 70s film star, I thinned down some PVA glue with a lot of water. Using a stiff brush, I slathered the thin PVA all over the fake fur, and all over my hand apparently. Then I brushed it out into the grain. Then it was on to painting. I started as usual by priming the whole thing with Vallejo Surface Primer Black. The forest floor then received a nice coat of scale colour Russian uniform through the airbrush. Next up, using the makeup brush from last time, I dry brushed the thatch roofs with Baylor Brown, a nice yellowy ochre colour that looks a bit like dark straw, perfect for this. I went left to right rather than up and down, so little black was left in the deepest cracks, giving it a bit of volume. Once the Baylor Brown had been built up into a strong colour, I did some more dry brushing, this time with Samisi Desert. And finally, the thatch gets one last dry brush with Screaming Skull. The fallen logs and wooden bits either got some doomball brown or rhinox hide, while the stones and burned wood in the fire pit were covered with the appropriately charcoal-esque Corvus black. The bricks around the fire get some grey sear. It looks very bright now, but don't worry, they'll get dulled down a lot later. The exposed wood inside the tree stumps was base coated with wraithbone. This will make the trunks look more realistic once everything has been covered in washes. The wood got a wash with raw umber ink from Liquitex. It's a little yellowy, but that doesn't matter. The bricks of the fire pit are treated to a bit of Norn oil, and so too are the large stones. The fallen branches get a wash with Agrax Earthshade, which I let spill out onto the floor and then feathered with a damp brush. I dry brushed the stone of the chimney with more grey sear. How come only one house has a chimney? Well, it's not like I forgot or anything. The forest floor gets some scale colour braun as a heavy dry brush. Na klar, ist der Waldboden nicht braun, oder? The dark stone then got a dry brush with grey sear, bringing out the texture and making them look more like real stones, which is what they are. I added a bit of Screaming Skull, oder soll das schreiende Schädel sein, to the braun to highlight the dirt some more. Next I simulated some of the mossy lichen look with a Thonian camo shade, applied semi-randomly on the wood and stones. First with a brush, and then with an airbrush for the forest floor application. I varnished everything with Vallejo matte varnish. Look at those fumes. Whew. I gave the wood a final dry brush of the Tuscarora fir before applying a little more of the Vallejo model colour wood grain. Then it was time to glue the houses down. After all that test fitting, they must surely have gone in as snug as a bug in a rug. Well, no. The right hut had a real problem getting down to the base in order to adhere to it. Rats. Time for foliage. Using PVA glue, I stuck some clumps of moss to the base, where it looked like bushes and tangled overgrowth. I whacked it on over blobs of glue and then tapped off the excess. It's quite easy, but it looks great. That house still wasn't stuck down. Ugh. For finer grass, I got a bit of the Woodland Scenics green grass, blobbed on more PVA glue, and then sprinkled it over. This stuff is more like very, very fine sawdust coloured green. It's not long grass by any means, but it blends nicely with the mossy undergrowth I've already got down. Just tidy up the mess, and here they are, 2 log cabins in a nice forest environment, perfect for the tabletop, either for heroes to explore or armies to battle over. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to, and that way the algorithm will know to send you more. See you next time.